Hi, classmates. Pastor Aaron here, joining you with a quick Bible video about different translations and different types of Bibles. Now, first up is the oldest Bible that I have, the oldest personal Bible that I have, and I've had to duct tape the spine to hold it together, and this is a revised standard version Catholic edition. I was raised Catholic, and this was one of my first Bibles as a young man. Ignatius Press is a very conservative press for the Catholic Church, and as you can tell, it's been scribed for people who actually gave this to me. Seen some years, but I really enjoy it for the sentimental reasons too. This Bible's gone through a lot with me, so that's my oldest Bible. Up next, this is an example of a study Bible, and this version is from the New Living Translation, and this is a Life Recovery Bible studies thematic. It has to do with the 12 steps in Scripture, books of the Bible, and it has several outlines that you can follow. This has been a really great Bible. Wonderful study guides, and this is an example of a New Living Translation study Bible. Next Bible is my most recent Bible that I purchased from seminary, and this one is a Wesleyan study Bible. This one's a fairly recent translation. It's called a Common English Bible, CEB, and it's written in the Common English language. So this is another example of a theologically specific Bible, and it's got these notes on the bottom of Wesley's take on certain aspects of these scriptures. For instance, like this one, holiness of heart. You'll see sanctification and justification, things like that. So this is a Common English Bible, Wesleyan Study Bible. This one is the Greek New Testament. And if you peruse through this, you'll see that it is indeed in Greek. This is a pretty neat Bible. But I need a translation guide when I'm looking at it. So this is a Greek Bible. And finally, for my Bible tour, we have the Hebrew Bible. And if you notice on a Hebrew Bible, if you open it up, that's the end of the Bible. See that? I don't know if you can read that. That's page 1574. That's because, as Frank pointed out, Hebrew reads from right to left. So if you open up this Bible, you'll see the transcription that was provided for me. This means two, and that's my name, Aaron, and that's the symbol or characters for brother, and it's saying my brother. So what it says is, to Aaron, my brother. And this is from my ministry internship in June of 2018 when I was at the Putnam Correctional Institute. And this is a treasure from my friend and Hebrew scholar, Chap Miller. So this is what a Hebrew Bible looks like. Okay, for the last section of different types of Bibles, I want to show you a good resource. This is a free resource. You're like, well, I don't want to buy all these Bibles, and you don't have to. There's a resource called BibleGateway.com. BibleGateway, all one word.com. And you could actually type in any passage and you can change the translation too. And it gives you, it's actually a good way to try to figure out what the Greek or Hebrew was originally saying. So if you have all these different people translating a different language, which would be Greek or Hebrew, it's a good way to see how they're translating a word that might not necessarily translate verbatim. Won't be literal translation. So for instance, and sometimes it's not a real big deal. You won't really see a big difference, but I just want to, there's some minute changes. So I want to, provide a scripture that most people are familiar with, which is Psalm 23. Now here's the New Living Translation, and this is what we use at our church. So you could just kind of look at the first line. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. Okay, so we could take that same translation and let's say New Revised Standard Version, which is similar to the one that I had. And let's see what they say. And then they say, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Same thing, it's just a little different. It's the essence of the translation is there. It's not verbatim. It's not the same. Let's see. Let's try the New Living Translation, like the study Bible I showed you. New Living Translation. And then we got to hit search. The Lord is my shepherd. I have all that I need. So again, it's kind of the same, but it's not verbatim. Not verbatim. And let's see. How about the Common English Bible? That's my newest Bible. Common English Bible. Let's see how they translate it. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. Different. It's essentially the same meaning, but it's a different translation. So I hope, and then of course, I can't go without doing when it comes to Psalms or poetry, the King James for poetry is pretty. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I like the New King James for the poetry. So why do we have all these different translations? And is there one better than the other? Well, if you speak a different language, or you know someone who does speak a different language, you know certain things can be translated differently based on the context and interpretation of the translator. Certain things just simply doesn't translate. For instance, like in the Jewish language, Hebrew, uive, it doesn't really translate. I have Hispanic friends, and they have certain gestures that don't translate well. So that's why we have different translation, is because it's a different take on the translation. Which one's better? It's just different ways of translating. Not one is better over than the other. Which Bible's better? Whichever one you're going to open. That's the best Bible. And as you noticed from our first video about the Dead Sea Scrolls, there's a lot of new discoveries of ancient texts that are in the pure form. So any modern study Bible that has gone through these newly discovered, uncorrupted ancient texts, those are pretty good. I mean, we're standing on we're standing on the shoulders of giants. So any modern study Bible is really, really good. It's probably better than anything that was produced in the 19th, 18th century, 17th, anything that was produced in our modern time. A a brand new study Bible is a really good Bible. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and I will see you in the virtual. Happy learning.